Everyone, it's Krista here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of December 12th through to the 19th. With the moon currently moving through Virgo, the weekend of these readings, in addition to Mercury going retrograde while the sun's transit is in Sagittarius, we have an opportunity to revisit something this week. Anytime Mercury is in retrograde, we can add the prefix RE on anything: revisit, re-edit, release, reinvent. It's a really good time for looking again, so that we can square things away, we can close chapters, or we can enhance our work or relationships. So of course, Virgo is an earth sign, and we're looking at issues of practicality and work. And then Sagittarius is a fire sign. We're looking at issues of bluntness and philosophy. So this is a general reading for your sign. Whatever is most prominent in your life, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to. And I hope that you find them helpful and healing. So what does Sagittarius need to revise this week? Well, first and foremost, you do have an opportunity here to revisit something that is dogging you, daunting you, haunting you. This is not unusual, frankly, Sagittarius, for every sign of the zodiac during this time of year. So not only do we have the holidays approaching, which is a very triggering event for many human beings, in the Northern Hemisphere, or people who celebrate the holidays. But we do have Mercury in retrograde, so we are forced to revisit something that we would prefer not to think about, that we prefer to, get over, so to speak. But, for all practical matters, something that's dogging you or something that feels like it's haunting you, it may have nothing to do with anybody else. It may have something to do with your own sense of self, your own unwillingness to forgive yourself, which happens more often than we'd like to admit, doesn't it? And it could be for anything, and it could be that the other person has forgiven us, or we've taken steps to forgive ourselves, but it hasn't panned out the way we wanted to. So we do have something here that appears to be dogging you. So this is your central card, the never-ending story. This is where we're looking at being unable to look at yourself about something, being able to face something here. So again, when I mentioned the moon in Virgo, the weekend of the readings, we do have an emotional planet, right? The moon in a very practical and sometimes obtuse earth sign. So we're able to put things into action. We're able to work at something, but being emotional about that is going to feel as though they're in two different worlds. You can't possibly work with emotion. You have to separate those. But I think what Sagittarius, in its transit in the sun right now, while we're in the Mercury in retrograde, is saying, well, let's be blunt about this. Let's face facts right now. And can you really separate these two? And is it wise to separate these two? And is there something to learn here that can really heal you or release you over the next few weeks, if you are to take a steady and practical look at what's dogging you or haunting you here? Again, this could have nothing at all to do with externalities. It very much could. There could be a relationship here. There could be a trigger here in your external self, right? Partnerships, romance, friendships, business partners, even people that you look up to. Something has let you down here. And as much as you like to think that you've let it go or that it doesn't influence you, it's probably going to crop up this season. If it's not, that's fantastic. Then this will be a small thing that you'll need to look past, and it will probably be exerted onto you, the sense of someone else's never-ending story, someone else's grief, someone else's pain, right? If that's the case, I think it is in your best interest to perhaps protect yourself around this if it is an external projection onto you. If someone else's never-ending story is being projected into your world, I do think it is your right and your obligation to your love of self and to your mental health to reject being responsible for that, okay? Unless you are the parent and you're a parent of this person and that is actually your job. Another adult is supposed to take care of themselves. You can comfort them, but you aren't responsible for accepting someone else's grief. You can help teach them how to release this. But remember, unless it's yours, it's not yours to work on, okay? And even if you wanted to, you can't fix someone else. We all have to do it ourselves. So two major themes here that we're looking at is the ability to love the self, okay? We have the little clock here in a time capsule, no less. There's a sense that time's running out. Yes, it is the end of the year coming up. Yes, this is a triggering holiday for many of us. But remember that time is now, right? There is no before, there is no after. All we have is now. So please don't let this trick you, this sense of calendars and clocks, okay? You are exactly where you need to be right now. And in terms of loving the self or allowing yourself to hear, you've got the little heart saying, love me. And then you've got the arrows going, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. This should be a non-question, right? Yes, you need to love yourselves. No, it's not time related or time resistant. It's right now. And if you can do that right now, or you can start to love yourself right now, this is really all that matters. You don't have to kick yourself for not doing it sooner. And of course, the most obvious concern here is not being able to look at yourself, not being able to look at your own reflection for whatever reason, feeling down, feeling left out, feeling disappointed in yourself. All of these types of themes could be playing out for you this week, but really treat it as a lesson. While the moon moves through Virgo this weekend, and certainly throughout the week of these the realization of these readings, we have Libra and Scorpio with the moon moving through those signs. So both partnerships and deep feelings and getting to the depths of something here. So if you can move through this at your own pace, you'll find it's easier to decipher what that is that's been daunting you or haunting you here. And you can come up with practical ways in which you can avoid this turning into an ongoing theme or even an annual theme that, crops up every December time. We have round and round preceding this. This is influencing the never-ending story. This is just feeling like you're burning your wheels, right? Or I think there's another term for that. Turning your wheels. It basically just means that you feel like you're getting nowhere. It feels like a problem that was even begun to be solved here, or that you thought was maybe small or insignificant is taking on a little bit of a life of its own. It does need recognition here. Round and round is also, it can be considered something that feels like a karmic card, right? Or a karma. There are some feelings here, or there could be some feelings here that relate to a karmic debt not being paid. Whenever I see this in people's readings, I'm always reminded that it's always paid. It's always paid, right? There is no karmic debt. There is nothing actually like this. Your life on this earth and everything that you do in this life is a payment for a karmic debt, right? This is why we have to evolve in this life, because this is all we have. We cannot go back even to yesterday, except for our memories, and that's the only time travel that exists. We cannot go back in a former life. It's already been lived, right? The whole point to your life until your dying breath is your karma. So if there's any resistance here to healing or facing something here because you don't feel that you're ready, or you don't feel that the karmic debt, that you have what it takes to pay it, just consider it done, right? It's already done. The fact that you're breathing is your karmic debt. You're living this life to have resolved everything that came before this. And the beautiful outcome for you is your imagination. You can really create this right now. You can create something that exists, that's real for you, that's practical for you. that's meaningful to you and that absolves you from any sense of a karmic debt or an inability to look at yourself fully here. Because you do have a loyal heart and you do have a lot of love in your life, Sagittarius. Again, if this is being projected onto you, you're going to want to protect yourself 100%. Don't make any apologies here. If someone's projecting their garbage onto you, especially during the next 3 weeks, and even if you want to help them, you need to protect yourself. However, if this is being exerted on your behalf and you're unable to look at something and you really are relying on your imagination to save you from something this week, this will behoove you. This is your greatest exercise, especially this week. You have an enormous amount of support. You are also very, very fortunate, Sagittarius, in that you are able to love yourself exactly who you are. Not many zodiac signs can say this. So consider yourself very fortunate in this regard. And because you have a reasoned ability for detachment, as opposed to a needy detachment, which is a self-protection, Sagittarians are able to get to the core of the matter by being blunt, right? And you appreciate bluntness, and this can be your saving grace this week, so use it to your advantage. If you can reach out to tell others how you feel, especially if it is in process and helping yourself, do so. You'll get a lot of support. If you feel like this is something you need to figure out on your own, you can do that too. Because you know how to be there for yourself. You know how to treat yourself, right? And you know what it feels like to feel good. So whether you're relying on other loved ones or yourself this week, you can trust they have your best interests in heart, and you can do this freely this week, whether it's sharing your woes or your successes. Here with Otter, this is one of your outcome cards. This is really looking at woman medicine. This is really looking at some, if not all, of your female relationships, very possibly your own mother, your sisters, your aunts, you know, your, your best friends. That are female. But ultimately, this is really about us, right? This is really about how we feel about ourselves and how we exert our energy, how we express. So as long as you feel free as a woman and safe as a woman, this is what you're going to be able to exert. This is also going to help with your loyal heart. If you are unattached, this will help lead you to the right people you're supposed to be in communication with. If you are in a committed relationship, this is how you're going to be able to express very flirtatiously within your own female power, confident, playful, respectful, and ultimately in a sense of divine femininity. I'm so sorry, I've been losing my voice recently. So we do want to look at issues of how you're relating to others while being in your own personal power. Let's just get a final card for you here. Remember, the opportunity here for you, Sagittarius, is to let go, okay? Let go of pain or whatever you consider to be something that you're dogged by or haunted by. Because this is really just a waste of time, right? You don't need to punish yourself. Listening is your actual outcome, final outcome card. This is an opportunity for you to listen to things that you've been telling yourself. Guaranteed, this is what needs to be worked on here. Things that you tell yourself, okay? Listen to this voice within, because there will be two, right? And I'm not saying you're of two minds or you're of Gemini mind. I'm just saying all of us have a higher and a lower self. And this is a beautiful week for you to listen to your higher self. You want to listen to the voice that says you can do it, you're okay, you're healthy and loved, you can do anything you put your mind to, as opposed to all the nasty things that we say about ourselves when we're not feeling at our peak optimum. So remember to be kind to yourself, to release fears around karmic debt here. Just recognize that it actually doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a karmic debt. Your life, your breath right here is payment. It's paid, it's done, it's over. You can walk away from this now. You can face yourself, you can forgive yourself, and you can imagine in a wise and loving way for yourself how to do this. So that is your reading for the week. I really hope that you enjoyed it and it was helpful to you. If you have a second, comment below. I love hearing from you. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel and like my videos. That really helps me out as well. So until we meet in the next video, take excellent care of yourselves. Bye for now.